Here.
And myself.
All right, if everyone could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have some meeting minutes from the December 30th meeting.
The only thing I found, minute, Jay's last name on page 4, second row is spelled
Did I
incorrect.
change it for them? I'm really good at that. Okay, thank you.
I don't look for spelling typos.
Yes, Rose.
And Larry, you were here last meeting, weren't you?
I was here.
That's right.
I've been called worse, Larry.
All right.
It's still time yet, Jay.
Yeah, I know.
Just one question on P26-13. Is there a
What page of the minutes are you looking at?
6?
Thank you.
I don't see a vote recorded.
You don't see a what, I'm sorry?
A vote.
A vote. Oh, that's correct. There is a vote.
That's 14. I have that we voted 5-1.
Okay. Do you have that, Charlene, the 521 update for that one? Once you've all had a minute to read, if someone wants to give a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Move that we accept the minutes as amended.
Motion made by Mr. Gladhow. Do I have a second?
Here.
Mr. Carve seconds. Any other discussion on the meeting minutes?
The only discussion I have is, would it be possible to get these sooner than the day of?
I'm sure we could do that.
I mean, that's a reasonable request. I mean, I sit on another board and we get them very soon, so when we sit down to do business, we're not wasting time reading these. I mean, that goes for other material too, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. But yeah, that's just a request. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Charlene would be able to in the future to be able to get it the Friday before. Is that acceptable? Does that give you enough time to finish them up?
Generally, yes.
Okay. All right.
Like, if it could be done.
Thank you, dear.
If it could be done before like a Friday, so we have a weekend to review it with other materials as well. All materials for meetings on Friday would be preferable.
Any other comments about the minutes?
My only question would be, we won't be able to pick them up on Friday. We'll have to get them on Thursday
Right.
or Monday morning.
Well, if we do, yeah, I mean, if we do email, but yes, I think we could make it to where we get the meeting minutes at least a couple days before, so we're not spending time during the meeting.
I
think it's
do agree,
appropriate.
not being able to pick up on Friday is another issue.
Okay. Any more comments about the meeting minutes? No? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and abstain. All right, it's unanimous. All right, moving on is our public hearing. Oops. So I'm going to open the public hearing at 6:37. And we're going to start by kind of going over the budget and the budget season, and then we'll get into our warrant articles. So this year's total budget for raising and appropriating is $14,103,949, which is a increase of $797,645. Now, in that, there are 35 total budgets. Of those 35 budgets, one of them is its own revolving fund, which is the water department. So that's money going in and out that way, no taxes. Of the rest, 8 budgets had reductions for a total of $78,032, and 5 of those, of the 35, were level funded. Some things to note, we had the majority of the driving factors this year for the increases of salary and benefits were our big drivers. There were a couple budgets that had some significant decreases. Let's see. One is elections, which had a decrease of $14,790. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jay or Mr. Colby, but that was from where they bought the new voting machines last year, correct? So we didn't need them this year. So that was one of the things.
Correct.
Another was health, which was a decrease of $30,000. And then we also had debt services, which is a decrease of $14,095. And that's just as we pay off our debt, then also the interest rate, the interest is going to go down as well. Some things that I believe Jay is going to go over is there was some stuff that you updated for the voter's guide, correct? If you want to go over that about the impact for the budget, correct?
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to put it up on the screen, but everyone should have a copy of it.
Who has the clicker?
It's basically the town warrant. We made a version called the Town Warrant Voters Guide, and basically in there it includes an explanation for each warrant. Also, it was discussed at the last meeting if we could try to provide a tax impact. So
Correct.
I worked with the town manager. We developed a schedule, and based on the total assessed value of the town, we came up with there's a rate per warrant article. So let me just, where is my rate sheet? Do you have?
I don't
that?
have it.
Okay. But basically, for each warrant article, based on the total assessed value of the town, we developed a per thousand cost. So if we look at the operating budget, the total budget for that was 14 million, but based on the assessed value, oh, here it is. Thank you. Based on the assessed value of the town, the rate for a warrant article of $14 million is $7.07 per thousand. And this is an estimate because it doesn't include the revenues. Mm-hmm. If it included the revenues, it'd actually be a lower rate. So it's more of an estimate. So it says this within the tax impact. This is an estimation based on the total town assessment. And basically the 707 would be calculated per thousand of your assessed value. So I took a house of $450,000 because it seemed to be closer to the median value of houses in town, or the total assessed value for residents, and calculated that. this is an increase. This is what your an estimated tax impact would be on your tax bill. So your tax bill would be $3,181 based on if you had a house of $450,000. So if your house was lower, that would be a lower rate, or if it's higher, it would be a higher rate. So we did develop based on that, the number, if you go down through each of the budgets, the CBA, basically that one there, the rate for the CBA would be 2 cents per thousand.
Right.
So the impact to the average homeowner for the year would be $9 on top of your tax bill if this is voted to be approved. So we tried to develop something so that voters could be aware of what they're voting for and what the impact is to their tax bill. You know, it may backfire on us, but, you know, at least we want to try to be transparent and show people that, you know, if I vote for a $20,000 warrant article, it's going to impact my tax bill by $4.50 for the entire year.
Right.
So as we go through the budget, the warrant article review, you know, you can see that. So I just wanted to highlight that for everybody here. I did find some mistakes within some of the intents. Copy and paste didn't work so well, so there's still some updates that need to be made, but this is a draft, and it will change after deliberative session. So the final copy for deliberative after that will be available for residents and taxpayers going into the March town meeting. So,
All right, thank you.
so please, if you have any questions, let me know.
Okay. And even though we're raising an appropriation for $14 million, roughly $14 million, once you account for revenue and everything, it's really the taxpayers only being taxed on, Mr. Colby, I believe it's like, what, $9.5 million is actually what's approximately. Okay. All right. And I believe we're going to start reading some warrant articles. So page 2 of the packet. No, we're going to read everything and then I'll open it up for public comments and you can ask away.
Point of information, my understanding is not how a hearing works, right? We work on each warrant article, then open and close them.
We
There's
usually
comment on each one.
we read all of the warrant articles and then we open it up for comments. That's what we've done every single year. We
I
usually
found out in this town that what happens and what is actually the correct procedure is not always in line with each other, but okay.
Okay. Moving on, operating budget, general fund, Article P-26-02. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate as an operating budget, not including appropriations by special warrant article, and other appropriations voted separately, the amount set forth on the budget posted with the warrant or as amended by vote of the first session for the purposes set forth therein, totaling $14,103,949. Should this article be defeated, the operating budget shall be $13,929,786, with certain adjustments required by previous action of the town or by law, or the governing body may hold one special meeting in accordance with RSA 4013X and XI to take up the issue of a revised operating budget only. Majority vote is required. This was recommended by the Board of Selectmen 5-0-0 and the Budget Committee 5-3-0. Let's see. Next, on the next page, explanation. The operating budget presented in this warrant article reflects the Budget Committee approved budget and any modifications that may have been made at the 2026 deliberative session. The default budget presented in this warrant article becomes effective if Article P-25-02 fails, that is, does not get a majority of yes votes. The default budget amount is prescribed by state statute. Tax impact. This is an estimation based on the total town assessment of $1,993,805,314, not including revenues at the following rate of $7.07 per 1,000 on a home assessed at $450,000 is $3,181.50 for the year. I'm going to do the next one, the water. Okay.
Let's see. So operating budget, water department, Article P-2603. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate as an operating budget for the water department not included in appropriations by special warrant article and other appropriations voted separately, the amount set forth on the budget posted with the warrant or as amended by vote at the first session for the purposes set forth therein, totaling $512,504. Should this article be defeated, the operating budget shall be $512,504, with certain adjustments required by previous action of the town or by law, or the governing body may hold one special meeting in accordance with RSA 4013, 10, and 11 to take up the issue of revised budget only. The total appropriation is $512,504. Withdrawal from the water enterprise fund is $512,504. So the approximate balance, we don't have that at the moment, but recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500 and Budget Committee 800. So this one, basically, we're utilizing the funds within that account to establish the budget for next year, so there's no impact to the taxpayer. This is all funded solely by the subscribers and the water suppression systems within town.
All right. Next is collective bargaining agreement, CBA Town Union. This is Article P-26-04. Shall the town of Plastow vote to approve the cost items included in the collective bargaining agreement, CBA, reached between the town of Plastow and the Plastow Town Unit Teamsters Local 633, which calls for the following increases in salaries and benefits at the current staffing level. Fiscal year 26 to 27, it'll be an estimated increase of $53,773. Fiscal year 27 to 28 will be an increase of $24,484. And the fiscal year 28-29 is going to be an estimated increase of $24,930. And further, to raise and appropriate the sum of $40,329 for 2026. This is a majority vote required. It was recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500 and the Budget Committee 530. You didn't want to say anything else about the collective bargaining agreement? You good? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, just that in the explanation, there is one position in there that has been removed. It's a maintenance supervisor, so that shouldn't, I just got to correct that and
Okay.
we'll send out an updated copy.
Let's see. Assistant clerk, health and budget. Yeah, this is an estimation based on the total town assessment. Looks like it's going to be 0.02 cents per thousand on a home at $450,000 for $9 for the year. And then the next one is P-26-05, which is shall the town, if Article P-26-04 is defeated, authorizes the Board of Selectmen to call one special meeting at its option to address warrant Article P-26-04 cost items only. Majority vote required, recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500. Want to do contingency fund?
Yeah, I'll do contingency fund, RSA 31:98A, Article P-2606. Shall the town vote to establish a contingency fund for the current year for unanticipated expenses that may arise, and further to raise and appropriate the sum of $85,000 to be deposited into the fund. The sum to come from the general fund unassigned fund balance. Any appropriation left in the fund at the end of the year will lapse to the general fund. Use of these funds will be pursuant to RSA 3198A and RSA 3211. Majority vote required. This will be, again, will be withdrawn from the unassigned fund balance, so there is no tax impact for the year 2026.
Next is Article P-26-07, which is deposit the Highway Department Equipment Expendable Trust Fund. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 to be deposited into the previously established Highway Department Equipment Expendable Trust Fund? Majority vote is required. Approximate balance in the Highway Equipment Trust Fund was $188,811 as of December 31st, 2025. Recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500 and the Budget Committee 530. This is a CIP. This is part of our CIP plan. So this is so that we can replace equipment. And we have this, I believe this is nothing new. This is something that we continually have on the warrant articles every year. Next is deposit to building expendable trust fund, which is Article P-26-08. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $60,000 to be deposited into the previously established building expendable trust fund? Is a majority vote required? The approximate balance in the building expendable trust fund was $46,707 as of December 31st, 2025, recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500 and the Budget Committee 030.
I think that's 530.
Yeah, 530. That's wrong. Right?
Yep,
It's wrong. Okay.
just a typo.
Typo. All right. Intent of this expendable trust fund is to put aside money. This fund will be invested in an interest-bearing account and can only be withdrawn by a majority vote of the Board of Selectmen. Yeah, so that's all for that one. Deposit to Library Capital Reserve Fund, Article P-26-09. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $55,000 to be deposited into the previously established Library Capital Reserve Fund? Majority vote is required. Approximate balance in the Library Capital Reserve Fund was $147,867 as of December 31st, 2025. This was recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500 and the Budget Committee 440.
Can we do the next one?
Sure, go ahead.
Next one is P-2610, deposit to reevaluation capital reserve fund. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be deposited into the previously established reevaluation capital reserve? Majority vote required. The approximate balance in the reevaluation capital reserve fund was $40,336 as of December 31st, 2025. Recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500 and the Budget Committee 620. Per state law, the town is required to complete a full property reevaluation a minimum of every 5 years. Plastow is due for reevaluation in 2030. This will help level fund the expense for the 2030 reevaluation. The fund is invested in an interest-bearing account, and funds can only be withdrawn by majority vote of the Board of Selectmen.
Deposit to Fire Department Apparatus Capital Reserve Fund. This is Article P-26-11. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $140,000 to be deposited into the previously established Fire Department Apparatus Capital Reserve Fund? Majority vote is required. The approximate balance in Fire Department Apparatus Capital Reserve Fund is $137,050 as of December 31st, 2025. Recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500 and the Budget Committee 5-2, and that should be one abstention. Okay, next. Go ahead.
Let me do the next one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Next one is deposit to Fire Department Equipment Capital Reserve Fund P-2612. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $30,000 to be deposited into the previously established Fire Department Equipment Capital Reserve Fund? The approximate balance in the Fire Department Equipment Capital Reserve Fund was $5,531 as of December 31st, 2025. The explanation for this is how many deposits into the capital reserve will allow for orderly replacement of fire department equipment using only capital reserve funds, which helps level the yearly tax impact. This fund will be invested in an interest-bearing account, and funds can be only withdrawn by the vote of the Board of Selectmen.
Next is deposit to Fire Department Radio Capital Reserve Fund. This is Article P-26-13. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $20,000 to be deposited into the previously established Fire Department Radio Capital Reserve Fund? Majority vote required. The approximate balance in the Fire Department Radio Capital Reserve Fund was $51,879 as of December 31st, 2025. This was recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500 and the Budget Committee 521. Just explanation, timely deposit into this helps to ensure that funds are available to replace mobile and portable radios as needed in the future using only capital reserve funds, which helps to level the yearly tax impact. This fund will be invested in an interest-bearing account, and funds can only be withdrawn by a majority vote of the Board of Selectmen.
Next is Article P-2614, deposit to the Public Safety Communication Capital Reserve Fund. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $80,000 to be deposited into the previously established Public Safety Communications Capital Reserve Fund? Majority vote required. The approximate balance in this Public Safety Communication Capital Reserve Fund was $126,671 as of December 31st, 2025. This is recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500 and the Budget Committee 521. Timely deposits into this capital reserve will allow for orderly replacement for public safety, communication, and information technology equipment using only capital reserve funds, which will help level the yearly tax impact. The fund is invested in interest-bearing account, and funds can only be withdrawn by the vote of the Board of Selectmen.
Okay. Deposit to the Police Vehicle Capital Reserve Fund. This is Article P-26-15. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $80,000 to be added to the previously established Police Vehicle Capital Reserve Fund? Majority vote required. The approximate balance in the Police Vehicle Capital Reserve Fund was $233,299 as of December 31st, 2025. This was recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500 and the Budget Committee 620. This will allow for the orderly replacement of police vehicles using only capital reserve funds, which helps to level the yearly tax impact. This fund will be invested in an interest-bearing account, and funds can only be withdrawn by majority vote of the Board of Selectmen.
Deposit to the Cemetery Special Maintenance Expendable Trust Fund. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be deposited into the previously established Cemetery Special Maintenance Expendable Trust Fund? The approximate balance in the Cemetery Special Maintenance Fund was $29,501 as of December 1st, 2025, recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500 and Budget Committee 530. There is approximately $29,000 in the Cemetery Maintenance Expendable Trust Fund, all of which will be used along with additional funds to finalize the cemetery expansion.
Last page, guys, last page. Next one is Article P-26-17. This is to hire Police Officer 1 traffic enforcement. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $75,000 for the purpose of hiring one full-time police officer to be assigned to traffic enforcement? Majority vote required, recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500 and the Budget Committee 620. One full-time police officer will be responsible for traffic enforcement only. The cost here covers 6 months of salary and roll-up costs. If approved, this position will be rolled into the operating budget going forward.
Next up is mowing and upkeep, Route 125 islands and other common areas. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 for the purpose of hiring outside contractor for mowing and groundskeeping of traffic islands along Route 125 in town, along with other common areas. This would also include safety equipment necessary to meet New Hampshire DOT standards. Majority vote required, recommended by the Board of Selectmen 050 and the Budget Committee 080. The intent is to utilize these funds for the purpose of maintaining the center median of Route 125 from East Road to Old County Road. This would cover the cost of monthly mowing and weed whacking of the medians by an outside contractor and include police details.
Last one. This is the Municipal Transportation Improvement Fund, RSA 261153VI. Article P-26-19. Shall the town vote to adopt the provisions of RSA 261153V1 VI to authorize the town clerk to collect an additional fee of $5 per motor vehicle registration for the purpose of creating a municipal transportation improvement fund, which shall be a capital reserve fund established for this purpose and governed by the provisions of RSA 35. And further to name the select board as agents to expend from this fund. Said fee to become effective April 1st, 2026. Majority vote was required, recommended by the Board of Selectmen 500, and the Budget Committee did not take action on this one. Did you?
Point of information.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Why is, I mean, can we just drop and the Budget Committee? Because it's just. the Board
Yeah,
of
it's,
Selectmen.
I just got to clean it up.
Yep.
I crossed it out.
You
It
can.
shouldn't actually be there.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Do you want, the intent of this is to collect an additional fee to be placed in the Transportation Improvement Fund. The fund covers improvements in the local or regional transportation system, including roads, bridges, bicycle and pedestrian facilities, parking and intermodal facilities, electric vehicle charging stations, and public transportation. The funds may be used for engineering, right-of-way acquisition, and construction costs of transportation facilities, including electric vehicle charging stations, and for operating in capital costs of public transportation only. The funds may be used as a matching fund for state and/or federal funds allocated for local or regional transportation improvements. Such funds shall not be used to offset any non-transportation appropriation made by the municipality. Fees will be collected from residential and commercial registrations.
Okay. All right.
Point of information, I know on
Go ahead.
Monday you all had mentioned what was included and not included. Should we mention that motorcycles and trailers are not included?
I can add that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I might have to move out of town if motorcycles are included.
Okay.
So don't change it.
Yeah, it's trailers and it's vehicles, motorcycles, sorry, Nolan.
Okay. So we
Would have
can
been nice if they pulled antiques out of there.
Yeah.
All right, that's the presentation of all the warrant articles. Now we can open the floor to the public. If anyone would like to come up and make questions, comments, concerns.
So that does, point of information, that does not include antique vehicles?
It does not include antique vehicles.
Antiques were exempt from it.
No. Doesn't include antique vehicles.
Oh, great. So if your vehicle is over 25 years old, you can register your vehicle as an antique in the state of New Hampshire.
Yep.
Fun fact.
Jet is going to become an antique.
Some of us legitimately have antiques.
Yeah, I have cars that are over 25 years old.
Yeah.
Mr. LeBrecq, you wanting to come speak? Come on up.
All right. First off, thank you, Mr. Colby, for gracing us with your presence tonight. Appreciate it. You haven't been at about 50% of these, which are required as part of your job duties.
What questions do you have for
I
the?
have lots of questions, lots of comments. First question is what are the notice requirements for holding a public hearing for the budget?
I believe we have to post it within, Charlene, how many days do we have to post it
I'm sorry?
for public hearing to have it? What's the publication period for notice?
I don't recall, but I know that Beth
7
took
days.
care of it and it was done.
7 days. This meeting was posted on the website on 1/8. It's 1/13, not 7 days. Might be why there's nobody here. Not sure.
Okay.
So we screwed that up. So not enough notice requirement for this meeting. What is the requirement for number of days prior to deliberative session that this meeting is to be held at minimum? Per RSA 32.5.
Could hold it before deliberative session.
Yes.
RSA 32.5 says 25 days before deliberative session. Even though I don't see any postings on the website of when the deliberative session is, and unfortunately, this wasn't on the website, this wasn't on the budget committee site. There's no documentation for the public to prepare for this meeting whatsoever. I do see that it's January 31st, which is 19 days from now.
Okay.
RSA 32.5 says this meeting is to occur at least 25 days prior to deliberative session. So looks like we need to reschedule the deliberative session
Okay. What other questions do you have about the?
because this public hearing is not in accordance with state law.
What's the remedy? I mean, apart from just sort of agreeing with him stating a fact, are we disputing that? Like, is he incorrect?
We have to,
I have 32.5 up on my screen if anybody wants to look at it.
I'm sorry, Ms. LeBrecq, can you state that RSA again? I'm gonna just,
It's 32.5, preparation of budgets. First sentence, shall hold at least one public hearing, not later than 25 days before each annual meeting. Public
So-
notice of which shall be given at least
So
7
according
days.
to the RSA, it actually states that it often requires notice posting at least 7 days before the hearing. The public hearing must be held at least 15 days before the voting session, with warrant articles posted for the public review, sometime requiring 20 days notice for the budget. Warrant articles for annual meetings must be posted for public review, often requiring a minimum of 20 days before the deliberative session. So,
I'm on the newhampshire.gov website.
okay.
yeah, I see not later than 25 days before each annual or special meeting on the one I'm looking at.
This is,
Where's the 15 days referenced?
it's an RSA.
I don't see the 15 days.
Okay.
What are you saying okay to?
Huh?
I guess, what are you saying okay to? Is it okay like what he said was incorrect, or okay in that there's some new information?
Well, the
I mean, if
RSA
I'm
that I read
incorrect, I'm
said that we're in
incorrect, but,
compliance, so I think that answers the question. We can obviously ask legal to make sure, but I mean, what other
What
questions do you have,
answers the
Mr.
question?
Lebrecq?
I'm on the New Hampshire site and it's saying 25 days before the annual special meeting. So I don't know what this is New Hampshire 32 municipal budget law, section 32:5. Mr. Colby?
Do you have any other insight? Because
Looking at the NHMA calendar they produce for the March SB2 calendar communities, and we are perfectly within the guidelines like we have been every year to hold this public hearing before deliberative.
okay,
Did we provide proper notice for the meeting to occur tonight?
I cannot speak to that. I'm not sure of what that is off.
7 days in advance. The town website says it was posted 1/8.
I would have to look into that.
Okay.
So what would be if we're not in compliance, what would that look like? Would that make this meeting null and void?
I believe so.
I would agree with you. I don't know.
the answer is.
Today would be the last day for giving notice of a January 20th public hearing on the annual budget. We could post the meeting before we leave this evening for a follow-up on January 20th and be within the confines of the law,
All right. So
in my opinion.
So we'll plan on posting, but then we'll also check to make sure that we did it within accordance. That way, if we were wrong this meeting, then we will be within the thing and we can do it on the 20th. And if not, then we will have had our hearing and we can continue to move on.
If it's on the 20th, it wouldn't be far enough in advance of the deliberative session.
Well, then we can
question.
fix
As it
the
is.
deliberative session.
What's that?
Then we can fix the deliberative session if we need to.
Okay.
Well, I think we need to fix
So-
it now.
Do you want to ask questions or no?
That was a pretty
Yeah,
good
it's
question.
going to be painful because.
That's okay.
Because
Let's let 'em roll. Let's
I'm
go.
just looking at this and I don't comprehend well
Just
listening.
one point of order.
Yes.
A little more decorum. You're a member of the public. He hasn't asked anything unreasonable. He doesn't need to be rushed. I say give him as much time without saying, do you have any more questions? And kind of, he's the only one here.
Okay, duly noted. Go ahead with your
Well-
questions, Mr. Lebrecq.
Sure.
Can I just state a point
Oh,
of
this
information?
person has the floor. We're going to move on.
In advance of a public hearing, is it customary to post an agenda and post what the meeting is going to be discussing with the public and posting the voter's guide for the public to review in draft form prior to the meeting so that they can be prepared with questions for this committee in advance of the meeting?
I think the voter's guide is usually at deliberative.
Yeah, it's something that we finalize for
Deliberative.
deliberative.
But you're having a public hearing about it right now.
We're not having a public hearing about the voter's guide.
We're having a public hearing about
Why
the
are we
warrant
reading it?
articles.
Was this final budget statement posted, and was it listed as what was going to be discussed tonight, this particular version of it?
Charlene, did we post this?
I didn't get it, no.
Okay, no, it was not posted.
Okay, so,
This was voted and approved within the last two budget meetings. I think it was last meeting, we voted and approved the warrant articles for this.
Correct.
we're having a public hearing.
Yep,
Correct.
The public should have access to what is going to be discussed at the meeting. I don't understand why, I mean, that's just a basic, if I call a meeting for anything I do in my professional life, and I don't have any context to the meeting other than, hey, public, show up, we're going to talk about numbers.
Okay.
How is that acceptable? It's not. It's ridiculous. Regarding questions. We recently, and this is a cost item, we decided to replace a pickup truck because it was at its end of its useful life, had a check engine light on, lots of repairs, da-da-da-da-da. So I saw the yellow truck outside, and I was about to send an email to the Board of Selectmen chair asking when the public auction was going to be so that I could put my name in to bid on that perfectly fine truck that didn't need to be replaced. And I actually came here to look at it, walked around it, and noticed a code enforcement sticker on it now. And I was actually quite impressed. Not a speck of rust on it. Looks fantastic. Probably has another 100,000 miles in it. Apparently the town believes so as well because we are keeping the truck that's beyond its useful capacity and the reason we needed to get a new one.
I understand.
And
I understand your concerns about that truck.
Okay.
But what about, that would be a Board of Selectmen question. So what is your question about the budgets here?
So we have a warrant for highway
Okay,
funds,
okay,
and we want to justify by, we need to replace equipment when it needs to be replaced, not when we can replace it, repurpose it, and, provide a truck. You get a truck, you get a truck, you get a truck, you get a truck, you get a truck. That seems to be the modus operandi around here, instead of utilizing what we need until is actually beyond its useful life and then replacing it. The right to have a fancy toy is not something that taxpayers should have to pay for. So in regards to the police budget, similarly, we're replacing vehicles too soon. These budgets include replacing vehicles at 100,000 miles regardless of their condition. We're referencing, exhaust leaks and electrical problems as reasons to spend 70 grand on something new as opposed to paying someone to fix it. I find that unacceptable. Yes, if there's safety-related issues, they need to be addressed and they need to be fixed. If you look at some of the vehicles I have, some people would say they're not capable of being on the road. They may not look very nice, but underneath, they'll pass more inspections than most of your vehicles will because I maintain things mechanically and I drive them as long as my antiques for a very long time. Probably have most of them till I'm dead. Anyway.
Just point of order,
Yeah.
Are there any questions, or are you just telling us what you agree and don't agree with?
Some of both.
Okay, just want to be clear.
Some of both.
Thank you.
If I had information to review prior to the meeting, I might have developed more specific questions prior to the meeting. So I will take my time here and I'll determine some questions along the way as well.
okay.
In regards to this, whatever this is, I don't call it a budget committee. This is a farce, in my opinion.
Mr. Lebrecht, you got to ask some questions.
Stop, point of order. Can we
Let me
stop,
talk?
can we stop harassing the public?
This is no.
Point of order. Can we
No,
stop harassing the
no,
public?
It's not harassing them.
There's no
It's a
harassment.
point of order.
No, you're not recognized. You are
Okay.
not recognized. This is a
Here's a
hearing.
question.
No, okay, ask the question because this is a hearing to ask questions about the budget. I get you're displeased with town operations.
So,
but
What
this is a
color
hearing
is the
for
sky?
this.
Crystal LeBrecq, make sure you ask the questions the way the chair wants you to ask them.
The
So
color of the
just-
sky is not a question on this.
Maybe
What
raise
other
your voice
questions
at
do you
the
have?
end so there's inflection, so it denotes that it's a question.
What other questions do you have?
Other than budgets that were submitted slightly reduced by the department heads, what has this committee done to dig in on a line item detail of any of the budgets and question any amount of funds that are included in these summary level budget descriptions? And what have you actually, if anything, reduced as a result of said month and a half or more review?
Nothing.
So these budgets start with the department heads, then they go to the town manager, then they go to the board of selectmen, then they come to us. These budgets are reviewed, they're looked at, there was really good, robust discussion, but at the end of the day, the will of this committee felt that there was no other reductions that needed to be made, and then the budget is as presented to you today.
I would
So
tend to disagree
nothing.
with that, Mr. LeBron.
Well, the majority of the committee.
So in a $14 million budget, we couldn't find a dollar to reduce. I find that appalling as a taxpayer.
Okay.
This budget process has been a joke from the start.
Okay, what other questions do you have besides
I have lots of
commentary?
questions.
Then ask, please.
I will.
Okay, thank you.
Where's the chair tonight?
He is absent
Why is the chair absent at the public hearing?
because he is. Move on, next question.
Why wasn't the public hearing
Point
scheduled at a
of
time when
order.
the committee could all be here?
Point of order.
What would you like, Mr.?
Are you going to continue to be rude and hectoring to the one person from the public here?
It's not rudeness.
It is rude and hectoring by conventional understanding of the word, all right? Just saying that it isn't doesn't make it the case.
Okay,
So could you please conduct yourself in an appropriate manner,
I will continue.
in my opinion?
Okay, thank you for your opinion.
Yes.
What's your next question?
So this meeting is the dog and pony show for the budget to the taxpayer.
Okay.
And we spent all of like 8 minutes
okay?
discussing the budget before we jumped into a bunch of warrant articles. So I have, as many know here, because this committee voted to compel the town to respond to right-to-know requests that I submitted. 7 of them were voted on here to be provided to this committee. Did you ever receive a response from the town manager for those 7 right-to-know requests that I originally wrote and that you guys adopted and asked for a response on?
We got some of your right to knows, yes.
How many of
7
those?
right-to-know request
I
responses.
didn't count. Your right to knows were not prudent to this conversation today. What other questions do you have about the
the-
budget?
It
answer-
was-
It's a
Point of order.
question. We're going to go through each one of the right-to-knows.
We motioned.
Each 7 of your right to knows.
What's that?
We believe, we received 7 of your right to knows.
You have.
Yeah.
How come I haven't received responses to 7 of my
These are
right-to-knows?
responses that were given to you.
They were
Received 3
non-responses,
responses.
Mr. LeBrecq. They were responded by non-response. So that was your answer. Some of those were non-responsive. The answer was that you weren't going to get the right to know.
So what other,
Wonderful if you've received them, but it would make sense that the writer of the right-to-know
Mr.
receive
LeBrecq, what
responses.
questions about the warrant articles do you have? That is the purpose of this
okay.
hearing.
Well, technically, it's the operating budget. So if you have questions on the operating budget.
Yes, you are correct. Thank you.
This board, did this committee receive accounting of the police detail fund showing all revenues and expenditures from the fund,
Which one?
as well as staffing costs associated with the details?
The details.
No.
Mr. Colby, I believe
You received a revenue summary.
we did receive a revenue summary.
Okay. When will I receive it, Mr. Colby?
I will have to go back and contact the admin who has retired.
So now we're blaming it on the previous admin that I didn't get
No, I am
responses to
not.
RTKs?
This has nothing to do
No,
with
this
the
has nothing, I
operating
didn't,
budget.
did I blame her for it? No, I did not.
Okay, I'm telling you, I received.
I don't have access to her
Why is the
email.
town
All right,
manager
we're gonna
yelling?
say, we are
Can we
gonna
take the
take the
volume down?
temperature, we're gonna
Why
take
is
the
the town
temperature of the
manager
room
yelling?
down, or we're gonna go on recess. This is a chance for you to ask questions about the operating budget, not debate people,
All of these
not to
are
anger
pertaining
people,
to the
just to
operating
ask
budget.
questions. No, they don't. Ask your
Yes.
questions.
I've been asking RTKs.
Right, RTKs have
For
nothing to
6
do with the
months.
hearing today. If
They
you don't
have
have anything
everything
further
to
to
do
add,
with the
your
hearing
time to
today.
comment will be over.
They have everything to do with the hearing today because
No, they
they are
don't.
all cost related.
Then ask your
And they
questions now.
all, I am.
Ask them.
Why are we, wait,
Ask them.
that's circular. You just acknowledged the fact that it's financially related, and then you said that it doesn't pertain.
The
I mean, come
a majority of the right to knows do not pertain to anything.
How do you know? You don't have them. You said you didn't know anything about them.
So in one of the meetings, Mr. Colby indicated that the department managers develop their budgets with spreadsheets that are then fed into the town's cost system. I asked for a right to know for those spreadsheets. Did this committee, or was this committee provided the spreadsheets of each department head's development of the budget that filtered into these very summary level numbers?
We got the normal sheets that we usually get.
I think that's no.
I was asked in October. It's never been responded to me.
But that's a right to know request
That
that
is
is
not-
outside of the entire budget process.
It's the budget.
Do you have any questions
About the
about the
develop-
budget?
But
So did you receive the department manager's detailed spreadsheets
Yes.
in order to review?
We got the departments, we got the town manager, gave us the spreadsheets to review, which is what we get every year on this committee. What other questions do you have
I
about
don't
the
think we didn't get
So
a
operating?
did you,
detailed
you
spreadsheet.
received
Not get a
you
detailed spreadsheet.
received a spreadsheet from the police department with every dollar of detail
Not every
that
dollar.
loads up to this?
We
which is
got it
what
with the
that request
categories
was.
like we do every single
our
year.
budget is a line item detail.
It is a line item detail.
It's a big bag of money.
What
Ms. Lindberg.
other questions do you have about the operating budget?
Did this board receive monthly reports from the town's billing company for ambulance services?
We did receive reports.
No.
Yes, we did. We didn't get them every month, but we did get a batch of them. We
He asked
received
for
them.
monthly reports, and the answer is no.
We got reports.
Got a whole batch of monthly reports.
Yes, we did.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. I'm sure they'll be shared with the public soon.
They're online.
Okay. Did this committee receive a full counting of the water department's budget and revenue that offsets the full cost of operating the department, inclusive of a report of billing collected, number of users, et cetera?
We got the
We receive a line item detail of the budget.
We received a line item budget. I would not say detailed, Ms. LeBrecq.
No, I'm.
What other
very aware.
questions do you have?
We're rushing him now.
Does this committee receive the monthly expenditure reports for the town for the year, indicating funds spent against the budgets that you're reviewing?
We do get expenditure reports.
You received all 12 months for the year?
Of what Mr. Colby has had rectified, correct, Mr. Colby?
That
No.
is correct.
I haven't received monthly reports.
There aren't 12 monthly reports because I don't issue any until after the budget is adopted. And there is not one for December as of yet because I got a pile of bills in the mail today that are December 2025. So December has not been finalized either.
Is all this information that you're referring, saying yes to, available to every member of your committee?
Should be, yes.
And it's been distributed to them?
when we get it in a timely manner, our chair usually distributes it, yes.
Okay. Has this committee received all information surrounding the town-supported extension ALS service in order to review as part of this process?
No, because it's not part of the town's budget.
Does this service operate out of a town-owned building?
It does.
Okay, so it's the purview of the town.
No, the budget itself is not. It's the town is used as a pass-through, therefore it's not considered anything that it would come to the budget level. So therefore, it's not part of our budgeting process.
In reviewing the fire department's budget, has the town manager or the fire chief provided the cost associated with town employees' time spent on the ALS service and the offset to the budget through the budgeting process?
If it has anything to, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it has anything to do with the ALS service, no.
I don't even understand.
Request, so.
I talked about it to you in your office, actually, and it's also a right to know, submitted on 11/20.
But the
Not
ALS
sure
program,
if
but
they're
the
being
ALS,
read.
the ALS program again is not part of this budgeting process because the town is just a pass-through for it. So do you have anything on the operating budget that you want to ask
So
questions?
do
I
any
have-
town
I have a question
employees
on that,
support
actually.
the ALS service in any way?
I'm sorry, what?
Do any town employees that are not fully dedicated to the ALS service support the ALS service in any way?
I cannot speak to that. I do not know.
I
The answer is
think
yes,
our
for sure.
dispatch, we've already stated that our
They get,
dispatch.
I believe they get stipends.
So they get a stipend.
For work that they're conducting during that they're scheduled for.
What other questions do you have?
Has this committee received accounts receivable aging reports for the ambulance service?
Yes, I believe we did.
They're part of what's posted online.
Right, yeah, and that was given to us. Yes.
Okay. This committee received the weekly, biweekly, monthly payroll reports for the town to compare against budgets.
No.
Don't think so, no.
I think that was ever requested, wasn't it? By anyone on the committee? Payroll,
What's that?
I don't think it was ever requested by anyone on the budget committee for the payroll reports.
Okay.
No?
These are all requests that I've made and have not received any responses to. So I'm curious to see if others have received some of the information and I'm just
So
being
again,
summarily
we're asking
ignored,
about your right
Like
to know requests. Okay.
which are all budget related.
Yep.
Regarding the assessing budget,
Okay.
the reduction due to the overreach of assessing early and doing a half assessment and then not doing an actual full assessment as appropriate. The $123,000 remaining for assessing, what is included in that?
Mr. Colby, would you know that by chance?
Where are you referring? I don't have what you're looking at.
That's what the
so
assessing budget is.
Assessing
So
budget.
It's your budget.
the assessing clerk at
I
20
can't see, Mr. LeBrecq, what you're looking at. You're behind your computer screen.
So
Same
what,
budget, this.
what is in that assessing line that we get a line item budget for is the assessing clerk's office, the assessing contract, mapping, data processing, dues, supplies, postage, books and periodicals.
Okay, what's included in the $288,000 executive line?
That entire budget?
That's the entire budget, so.
That's the entire budget. So that would be
we can do
salaries
this.
and,
That's fine. Town hall, town office, selectmen, stipends, the contracted consulting service,
What are
telephone,
stipends? Stipends for what?
the selectmen.
serving as a
Oh, the
selectman.
$3,000, whatever it
Yep.
is, stipends?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Contracted consulting services, telephone expense, dues, rental. I believe this is all posted on the webpage, draft warrant budget, but we can do this, it's fine. Rental and leases, general supplies, office supplies, postage, office equipment, maintenance, RSA supplies, technical supplies, equipment, unanticipated expenses, events, activities, salary for the town manager, overtime, mileage reimbursement, employee expenses, and admin positions.
Are there any travel stipends for anybody in that?
Mileage?
Yes.
Thank
there
you.
is.
Yes, mileage, and that's contracted.
What's contracted mean? Mileage is contracted? What do you mean
Yes.
by that?
Part of my contract.
Part of the town manager's
That's what,
contract.
that's where you're going. It's part of the town manager contract.
Oh, okay. So mileage to like reimbursement or lump sum?
It's
Lump sum.
lump sum.
Lump sum. To drive here 5 days a week, 4 days a week, 3 days, maybe 2 days, 2 or 3 days, maybe a stretch. So we're paying a lump sum
But
amount.
it doesn't
which-
include just that, it includes going to Concord, going to other towns, going to
Okay.
other things, not just.
Should it not be
going to town.
reimbursable based on actual mileage
That's
in the
how
event that,
Right now
the
it's-
travel doesn't happen?
we can revisit that, but that right now it's built into the contract for the town manager. And it's been built in similar in previous contracts for town managers as well.
One of the 3 responses to the right to knows that I submitted included the town manager's salary. It said it was all-inclusive. The number that was provided, is that all-inclusive of the travel stipend?
You asked for the contracted salary. That's what was provided, was the contracted salary.
What portion of that is the water department, what portion of it is the water department management?
That
Would be additional.
my salary is split up between finance, water, and the general fund under the manager's salary line. I don't have that breakdown in front of me.
But it's in the water department line. And then.
You don't know the
finance.
breakdown of your own salary. I find that hard to believe. So the total provided to me was 179. Does that include, that doesn't include travel, correct?
That includes
Correct.
just the salary.
Just the
So
salary.
the salary for the town
3
manager
parts.
position, the 3-part position, yes.
Okay. And we don't know what the breakdown is.
Not at this.
Well, it's broken down here. So the executive is 114, 325.
What's that?
If I can find the water department one in my
It's lumped in.
stack.
It's not specific.
Oh, because there's positions.
And there's other positions.
So there's
in the
salaries in that line
finance
item.
As well, so it's not that. It's.
So I find it hard to believe the town manager doesn't know the breakdown of his salary. He may not want to provide the breakdown of his salary.
Well,
Do you have any-
I
do you have any
don't
other
know.
questions?
You want me to go downstairs, get the payroll report? I can figure it out.
Fine.
just stop.
No, I'm.
I know.
I think it's a reasonable
It's-
question. to be
Mr.
honest.
Anthony, is it funny over there?
You have the,
What's that?
you have
Funny
the,
over there?
Hey, okay, hold up.
you
hold
have
up.
the total.
No,
I'm
I'm
not saying anything.
You have the
sorry.
total. We can provide you the breakdown, okay?
Thank you.
Next question.
Town clerk. Hardest working office in here, not going to ask any questions. Same with elections. Finance, what makes up the finance is a portion of town manager's
Finances,
salary included in that
Salaries, data
number?
processing, dues, office supplies, professional audit, treasurer's salary, budget committee secretary, and budget com expenses.
So the portion of the town manager's salary that has to do with finance is included in that 178?
Correct.
Yes.
And the portion to do with managing the town is including in executive, and the portion in for the water department is included in the water department.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Does this committee receive a breakdown of these budgets to an employee level so they can see these?
No, we get
Answer and
we get a personnel,
inquire.
and we just get personnel. We don't get by individual person. We get what does that department get for the personnel, and it's that chunk of money. It's not broken down specifically to individual.
When you have individuals that are funded from multiple buckets in multiple areas, how can you accurately assess reasonableness of a budget? You don't know, you don't have the information. It's not, I'm sure the town manager is not the only one that is, paid from here, there, over there, et cetera. I find it hard to believe that you can assess a budget without seeing that. To me, as a budget committee, I would be looking at, okay, they're probably here 40 hours a week, maybe more. There's justification for it. How can I tell what someone's salary is if it's spread throughout, peanut buttered, if you will, throughout?
What other questions do you have
Yeah.
about the operating budget?
What level of breakdown did you receive for the finance department?
Same as the other ones.
What is same as the other
A
ones?
total line by line with the description.
Total line by line, so total staff.
It says personnel.
It's a large pool, Mr. LeBrecq. It's just a total number. There's no breakdown.
It's a total.
beyond that.
Again, it's not the breakdown of individuals.
And
The
healthcare
total
and
for each line that is charged back to that.
So how does a budget committee review
and Mr.
the
LeBrecq.
appropriateness of items included in a line if they don't have a description or a enumeration of said line?
They ask questions.
Not
How the
many.
budget committee does it.
Okay, well, there's not many questions being asked because I've watched all
Just
the budget
because the
committee
questions aren't
meetings.
asked here doesn't mean people aren't asking outside.
Well, the question should be asked
This is a
here.
public meeting.
Well, yes,
It
it is.
shouldn't be,
Business.
the
Just
meeting
because-
shouldn't be held outside.
It doesn't. Questions are asked. How they're done, whether you like it or not, questions
Like
are
at
asked.
home or,
However, to do business, what is your next question on the operating budget?
Wow.
tax collector, 56,551. Explain what's included, please.
So the tax collector is a part-time position. There's a part-time tax collector. There's a tax collector salary, mortgage research, data processing, mailing service, dues, office supplies, postage, equipment repairs, mileage reimbursement, record, registry of deeds.
Would it be unreasonable to have the associated numbers against those for this committee to review?
We do. So the part-time position for the part-time tax collector is $6,000.
Okay,
The tax collector salary is $37,356. Mortgage research is $1,000. I can go on and on.
Mr. LaRoche,
We
Mr.
have
LaRoche,
the-
but aren't the benefits in another section?
Yes, the
Would be in human
benefits are rolled
resources.
up.
So those
That's the
aren't,
base
those aren't in
salary.
each, just so just to speak to your question, those aren't in each department as
Sure,
well.
Mr. LeBrecq knows that because I know he watches these meetings intently all the time.
I'm very aware that the department budgets are not representative of what it actually costs to run those departments, yes.
What other questions do you have?
Legal legal line item of $97,500. We speak to what we spent that money
It's
on
actually
this year.
$92,500 for this
Okay,
year.
great. 92,500, reading the wrong column. Wonderful $5,000 savings over last year. What have we spent that money on in the last year?
So I can go back 5 years. So in 2020, we spent $62,000. 2021, we spent $118,000. 2022, we spent 111. 23, we spent 87. Oh, sorry. 23, we spent 152,000. 24, we spent around 75. Sorry, that's the budget, not the actual. We budgeted 75, we spent 107. In 25, we budgeted 90. As of September this year, that's a number that I have, we expended $75,000. So these are day-to-day legal advice, contract reviews, abatement appeals, Superior Court, BTLA, labor-related matters. So there's a budget there for legal advice, legal matters we need to attend to. So again, this budget's posted on there and it has all these line items available.
Not in enough detail to ask substantive questions. Human Resources Personnel, $3 million, 2.918489.
Yep. So this is the HR salary, HR training, HR dues, HR mileage expenses, performance management, employee tuition reimbursement, health insurance, FICA, Medicare, New Hampshire retirement, unemployment compensation, workers' comp, 125 cafe plan pre-tax, medical services, pre-employment screening, management searches, notices, publications, employees, sick leave, and that's it.
What's
You want the
driving the
totals for
increase?
each of those?
Not right now. Might come
So
back to
a
it.
lot of the driving factors that
It's health
Ms.
insurance.
Knudsen explained was health insurance and,
New Hampshire retirement.
yeah, New Hampshire retirement. So
Has the town looked at reducing the town's percentage contribution on health insurance to lighten up the load on the
we have
taxpayer?
not discussed that as a board with the town manager this year.
Why would that not be considered?
Again,
Any questions related to the operating budget? Because
It is related to the operating budget. It's
That's-
driving the
it's
cost.
outside the
Right.
scope of the budget committee. That's the.
we haven't had that discussion at the board
Budget
level.
committee should ask the same questions.
What other questions do you have?
I know you feel like this is a waste of time, but
No, not at
I've
all, but I actually want
honestly
you to
felt
ask the
like
questions.
The entire
enjoying
budget
myself,
committee process
actually.
has been a waste of
Okay,
time, so.
keep going, man.
Okay, sounds good. I've got nowhere to be.
Let's go.
You're point of order.
Yes, Mr. Anthony, what do you?
You're the presiding chair, okay? So now we're gonna dish with the witness. Come on,
Okay,
come on.
duly noted.
Wasn't the only person that showed up speak.
Yeah, that's
He's
right.
got the microphone.
Bring it on, man. Right?
Decorum is
Yeah.
a different.
it's-
I mean, most
it's
of
a
the time you
different
two are
idea.
over there giggling, so I don't really know what you have a leg to stand on.
Yeah,
All right,
you're
moving on. Mr. Liebrecht, what is the question?
Decorum!
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
What has the
Thank you.
budget committee deliberated in regards to reductions throughout the budget process?
What have we deliberated on what to reduce?
Yeah, seriously discussed opportunities,
I think Mr. Anthony
ideas.
made a motion to reduce budgets every meeting, pretty much, or every budget, so.
Okay, so Mr. Anthony and Mr.
I actually
Pelletier.
did a couple too, so.
Yeah,
I don't wanna-
I'm sorry, Nolan. Nolan had a couple as well.
Okay. Did anybody else make any suggestion on reducing anything? Consider any reductions?
All right, operating budget.
Next question.
I believe there was a question on maybe getting rid of the emails for the planning board.
No, that was approved.
It was approved.
Yeah, I was just saying there was discussion on removing that.
Okay. What's your next question?
General government buildings. Has the budget committee made any recommendations to offload buildings that are not utilized appropriately?
I don't think the budget committee has.
No, we did not.
Okay. Everything's appropriate. What is in other general government?
So this is our IT contract. This also includes our PFAS, and I believe, hold on, let me just filter through my budget sheets real quick. Other general governments.
Telephone, computer, internet, MS4, stormwater, chat 2000, the FOAs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gladhill.
Can you explain what is contained in emergency management?
Hold on. Oh, there's other government buildings.
Emergency management's part-time positions, telephone, dues, memberships, office supplies, postage, equipment maintenance, gasoline, miscellaneous equipment purchases, and CERT team.
Thank you.
How much of the 42,125 is staffing cost?
There's a stipend there for the emergency management director and the assistant director.
What portion of the 42 is that?
It should be in the,
16,000. Yeah.
$16,000.
375 working hours at $20 an hour.
Okay. Solid waste collection, does that represent the final year of the current contract?
no, we still have one more year left.
So yeah, this budget would
Next
be,
year and then another year, so 2 more.
No, sorry, it expires at the end of 26.
So this budget is the last budget under the current contract?
Yes, that's correct.
Also, the lease payments on the carts will be done in midway through 26, I believe.
With respect to solid waste, just,
Leasing plastic is odd to me, but
what's that? No, I'm just saying with respect to solid waste, I think there might have been some discussion the other night, Jay, where you talked about whether or not to have people pay to have their bulk trash picked up or have it included.
Yeah,
So-
and this isn't really part of this budget, but
Potential savings.
we are at the selectmen's meeting. We have had RFPs for the new trash contract. So we have had discussions.
so disposal, there's only 38,000 of the $1 million contract that's to actually dispose of the waste.
No, I believe that is for the landfill, right? The 2 annual, I don't know, hazardous household drop-off days. So once a year, Plastow,
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Works
Maybe
with
we
other
should rename it
towns.
Hazardous waste disposal.
yeah. But, so that's what that line is.
25,000 of that is from the landfill water monitoring.
Yep.
That's required by NHDES.
Okay. Hopefully you don't find any problems with solar panels on this. Explain the health and human services budget for me.
Health and Human Services, so.
Two.
So Health and Human Services is, let's see, service organizations that we can refer folks to if they need assistance. So it makes up multiple different organizations.
Is that where the taxpayer donations are loaded?
Taxpayer donations. What do you
We
mean?
support different nonprofits. Is that where the money for that is?
Well, we could hire more people to provide those services.
I'm just asking, is
It's a
that
way
where?
to provide services for people that need assistance.
Yes, that's where that's
So that's where the nonprofit funding is located. That's all the question is.
Yep.
And that- I personally don't feel that taxpayers should be contributing to charities. I think we rephrase that. Through taxes, certainly great. Everyone supports causes that they are near and dear to them. But the government determining what those causes are for us is not appropriate.
We give the residents an opportunity to vote on it. We don't just add it to the budget. So we send it out to warrant ahead of time and with the understanding that it will get rolled into the budget. So typically those go out to the voters to have a say before we roll it into the operating budget.
Understood. And we have a lot of strides to go to get people at the polls as opposed to the turnout that we've had to date or historically.
Well, we do have another person from the public here. You've had a lot of time. Do you have any more questions?
I'm good.
Okay. Thank you, Holly.
Just want to make sure everyone has ample time.
I'm sure she will. It's an open-ended public hearing, correct?
Well, easy.
Keep going.
We gotta go.
Recreation 209,947. What is, I'm sure Tyler knows the answer to this question. What is the offset in revenue to the 209,275?
It's usually about $90,000 to $100,000. Somewhere in between there.
What are we doing to increase that, if anything?
Last year, we were about 110,000 that we recuperated.
20?
What?
120?
110, just from the
110.
summer rec program alone.
Getting close. Let's get it to 200 and I'll stop talking about recreation. Old Home Day back budgeted. Has the BOS made any strides in getting that as a donation-based celebration as opposed to a taxpayer-funded celebration?
So we reduced it before we brought it back to the budget committee from, I think, 35 down to 28. But the Old Home Day Committee is doing some fundraising to help offset the fireworks this year because there's been a lot of increases related to that.
Okay. Explain the debt service.
Debt service is where we have any of our bonds. So the bond for the police station, the bond for the fire truck. So that's where
Those are the two bonds that we have currently? Or there are more?
I believe there's two in there. There's another line. Hold on. I think there's another line in there.
There's one in the water department, safety
Oh, we
complex.
have, there is one as part of the water department as well. Debt service. Where are you, debt service?
We have a bond with the water department?
Yes, so when the water department was established, there was a bond to assist with residents that can hook up.
Was that the
Where they
one
can
that
finance the cost of
One person
hookup.
has taken advantage of?
Yes.
How many water subscribers are there now?
I don't have that number off the top of my head, but it's pretty significant.
What percentage of the budget is paid for through water fees for town water use?
The water department budget, it's all through the subscribers,
Right, the town's
the
a
water,
subscriber,
of the
correct?
water department and the fire suppression lines as well.
So the town is a subscriber to it and pays
Yes.
into it, correct?
Correct.
How much does the town pay into?
There's a line item in each of the budgets where where the buildings are hooked up, and there's an expense there. So let me find that.
Okay. So that's a water cost
like
per
any-
building under the
Any
buildings?
utility, yeah. So it's similar to like the electrical for the safety complex. They also have a line for water as well.
Okay. Where was the water, so is the fire department, the fire water part of that now? Must be, because it's all one system.
Yes, it's all in the same system.
So before, the water came from where for the fire department?
There
There
was
was a pump house on Maple Ave, Witch Lane off of there that was run out to through the lines years ago when.
Where'd the water supply come from? Were we paying
It-
for it now as opposed to not?
No, it
before, or-
came from a well.
Came from a well?
Yeah.
So it no longer comes from a well?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. So we're paying a water bill for I mean, that's gotta be a pretty big part of the 500,000, I would imagine. What's the water, do we know the water usage or the water charge to charge?
Budgeted amount for general government buildings this year is roughly about $9,000 between the Public Works Garage, the Norm Major Building, the Safety Complex, Town Hall, it's MU. Which building's that, Greg? MU?
The Historical Society.
Historical Society.
So I guess theoretically thinking about it, when you flush hydrants, like, how is that metered? How is that even determined back to as a town charge? But most of the use is probably hydrant flushing.
It's built into the
Thankfully, we
rates.
don't have a ton of fires. So the water use must be more flushing the system than, is that just part of the general upkeep of the water department system because they're tied in now?
There's flushing that occurs periodically, yes.
Okay. So those wells that we had before, we just abandoned?
Yeah, there was significant expense to upkeep of the well pumps that were there. From what I recall.
What, I see library on here. Is there any review or oversight by the budget committee on anything of this growing $750,000 budget?
Yeah, the library
Came and made.
trustees can work with the library boss, whatever you want to call him. Sorry, it's getting late.
It's fine. It's only,
And they develop a budget and they provide it to the Board of Selectmen, and then it gets passed on to the Budget Committee for review. They come in and do a presentation, similar to other department heads.
so did the budget committee have any questions regarding the $750,000 library budget for the library?
Yes, I believe I asked questions about building utilities and internet subscriptions and whether or not they're consolidated. We also asked questions around what capital projects were in line, and we received some answers.
From what I understand, the library director is retired now, or is,
Yes, he
Yes, he
will
is.
be retired near the
end of the year.
Yep.
So the salary, I don't recall, I'm not sure how long Cab was in that role.
Yeah.
Is this replacement salary the same salary as what he was making prior? given his years of service?
So the library trustees are, I believe they're starting or are in the process of doing a search for, to replace that position. So they're the ones that set the budget. We have very little control. It's like the selectmen managing the town with the town manager and supervisors of the library trustees work with the cab to, manage that.
So does the Board of Selectmen or this Budget Committee have any ability to scrutinize and reduce budgets at the library?
Yep.
By asking or by
Generally, it's
dictating?
working with them and seeing if they can reduce it, but, Mr. Anthony could make a motion to reduce it and it could pass or it could fail. And that would be what it ends up being.
Hypothetically.
It would fail,
In theory.
for sure. All right. Lastly, on this budget sheet, we continue to, and it bleeds into the warrant article questions. We continue to operate death by 1,000 cuts, and when I say cuts, death by 1,000 ads actually wouldn't be cuts. And this budget just year over year, it doesn't seem like there's much concern from the Board of Selectmen or these budget committees that costs are going up, so budget's going to go up. That's just the mantra, and I think everybody goes into these things like, well, it is what it is, and questions aren't being asked appropriately, and details not being provided, even
Is there a
when
question?
compelled. Yes, there are many more. So what can this committee do to start looking at how we can reduce costs instead of just saying, oh, well, costs went up, let's approve everything without substantive discussion? I mean, you're all spending time here. I find it hard to believe that you feel the time is well spent, given that nothing is really
Do you have
accomplished.
any questions?
I
on
just
the
asked a
operating
question.
budget? On the operating
What
budget.
are you doing to consider cost efficiency when you're reviewing these budgets?
We consult with the town manager. We have department heads come in and speak to us. We've had joint meetings with the Board of Selectmen when the bigger department heads have come here. But within looking at the budget, it's starting to get to a point of what services does the town not want to save any type of money?
That's fine. Sometimes you need to cut things, and maybe you need to suggest cuts instead of
Okay. Is there another
rolling
question?
through status quo.
What other questions do you have?
So now that I know that the deliberative session is on January 31st, because it's the 13th and it's not posted anywhere. Let's go through warrant articles.
Before we go there, Holly, do you want to come up and speak at all?
Oh, I'll let him go and then I'll speak.
Okay.
I have no problem waiting.
Okay.
Thank you, Helen. $707 per thousand. I understand the concept of the trying to estimate the impact per thousand. I don't think it's really, I think it could be confusing to some. An estimate just for the town's portion, obviously, and based on I wouldn't say average value, I'd say it's, well, maybe it is average. I think it's below average, but. Let's talk about a question regarding the default budget, is that? So the budget is 14,103 and the default is 13,929.
Yes.
We discuss, is this committee, is it involved or reviews how the default budget is determined?
No, the charge to the budget committee is the operating budget. The Board of Selectmen do the default.
Okay. Can someone explain in this warrant article, since we're talking about the dollars here, how we came up with a 13,929 default budget?
Mr. Colby?
So per the RSA, default budget as used in the subdivision means the amount of the same appropriations as contained in the operating budget authorized for the previous year, reduced and increased as the case may be by debt service contracts and other obligations previously incurred or mandated by the town, and reduced by one-time expenditures contained in the operating budget for the purpose of this paragraph. One-time expenditures shall be appropriations not likely to reoccur in the succeeding budget as determined by the governing body unless the provisions of RSA 14-B are adopted of the local political subdivision.
So where's the calculation of that located for the public to read?
There's a document that we have to fill out and is available once this is, the budget committee will sign off, or the selectmen have signed it, and then it will be available for the town to review.
Does the
It has
town
a-
audit of the previous year need to be completed prior to figuring out what the default is?
To my knowledge, no.
Does that seems like an audit should be completed before we,
Well,
why isn't that audit not complete?
that's not related to the
It's not
operating
related to
budget.
this.
It is if it, to
But
me,
that was
factors into
asked
the
by some of the
default
budget committee members and an answer was provided to them, so. It was extenuating circumstances and it was patients by the auditing team. And we actually have the audit now. There's still some legal things that we need to do before we can present it and post it to the webpage. So
Isn't knowing the legitimacy of the previous year's expenditures relevant to a budget process?
So,
I seem to think so, but I guess.
My thoughts,
yeah, just your thoughts.
What other questions do you have about the
they're all
warrant?
my thoughts. Most in this room don't.
What other questions do you have?
I'm on page 3, so,
Okay,
because I didn't get this in advance, it takes me some time to read through. I'm not a good listener.
okay.
Excuse me.
What's the balance of the water enterprise fund?
It's not provided here. Mr. Colby, do you have any information on,
Books and records aren't closed, I don't.
books and records aren't closed, so we don't have that at this time.
Estimated.
The books and records aren't closed, I don't have that number.
Can we get year-to-date?
Excuse me?
Can we get the year-to-date then?
That nothing has been done yet, so a question's been asked and answered. We don't have the answer for that yet. What other question do you have?
How do we know that the water enterprise fund is not being covered by taxation if we don't know what the cost was for the previous year?
It's in a separate account of self-balancing accounts
What
that
happens if it doesn't self-balance?
it does self-balance.
Okay, Can we get accounting of that?
When it's done and ready, yes. If you want to see the draft audit report, there was a little over $1 million in the water fund at the end of '24.
Okay, that's all the answer you needed to say the first time instead of beating around the bush.
Okay,
That's all I'm asking for.
question's been asked and answered. What is your next question?
I could RTK it and maybe I'll get an answer in 9 months.
What's your next question?
Go ahead.
Probably will.
Good. I look forward to it.
I'm sure you'll ignore it like all the rest of them. How many people are part of the town union?
Town union.
From what I understand, this is outside of police, fire.
Town plus town union. 2, 3.
Positions in the union are listed there.
They're
11?
listed.
Looks like 11. It's on page 4. It's
It's in the
highlighted bold.
explanation.
Yeah. Looks like there's 11.
So the recreation director that just started gets an increase as part of this?
Part of that union, yes.
Wouldn't it be factored into their pay to begin with?
No, because it would be part of the collective bargaining agreement. Because if the voters vote no on this, then they have one special meeting to go to, and if that gets voted on again, then it means no. So there would be no raises that would be associated with that.
Question for, I don't know who it's for, but who dreams up warrant articles?
So it's not dreamed up. Some of these are based off of a capital improvement plan, and others are developed outside of that by the town manager, by the board of selectmen,
Keeping
or
up
even
the
the budget
Joneses.
committee if they wanted to. do
Correct
that.
me if I'm wrong, but a warrant article could also be submitted by citizen petition as
Correct.
well.
That's correct.
Department head could present it.
None of those are represented in this packet though.
Because they don't have a dollar figure attached to them.
Correct. Because this is about the operating budget, not the warrant articles. So do you have any other questions around the operating budget?
Well, we went through the warrant articles too, so I guess that's part of this public hearing as well, correct? Otherwise, why are we talking about it? Why did we listen through it? Where do the numbers come from associated with the current overtaxation for future use?
What do you mean by
Funds.
overtaxation of future use?
What do you mean?
Raising money for the Board of Selectmen to go spend without specific taxpayer approval. The expendable trust funds. Where do you come up with the dollar values?
Oh, you mean the CIP accounts that are voted on by the voters to be established? And for us to put money into it and to take votes to use money in those funds?
Yeah, the current overtaxation for future stuff.
That's what you call it.
Yes, that's
Call it smart
from a
planning.
dollar
but-
perspective, that's what it is.
If you don't mind.
So what's your question?
Jay, could I just speak to this?
Where do you
please?
come up with the dollars
So there is
other than a,
right. So during the CIP process or other ways of coming up with this, there's a dollar amount that is determined. In some cases, if we look at the CIPs, there's a 20-year plan that's created and we look out 5 years. So we come up with a dollar amount. So in the case of, and I'll use the ladder truck, which it's not a good example, but in the CIP a few years ago, it was in there for $400,000. That wasn't a realistic number. And to put money away to raise $400,000 over the next 20 years to replace it in 5 years wouldn't work, right? So we end up having to get a bond, but the goal to the CIP would be to go work with the department heads, work with the town manager, come up with realistic numbers over a long period of time, even though a fire truck now might cost $1 million. In 20 years, it's going to cost $4 million, for example. So in the CIP plan, there's an inflation adjustment in the calculation. So we'd probably look to get, preliminary numbers as a starting point to work towards over the next 5 to 10 to 20 years.
But is it fair to tax now for future expenditures for people that may or may not be here to take advantage of said future expenditures?
I guess it's
Like a senior that
I guess it's what
unfortunately
you think.
passes but has to struggle for 10, 15 years to pay their taxes, to pay for a
It's
fire truck
ultimately-
15 years from now.
That's why we put these
That's
as
why we put them on the
articles.
warrant articles.
That way the
to-
townspeople can say, yes, they want a
decide.
budget, or they can say no.
We can also not put forth garbage so that, because we know the turnout is terrible. Always has been.
Is there a question?
What other questions do you have?
Sure, I'll move on to my next question. Again, if I would have received this beforehand, I would have had a list of questions prepared.
Well, we read them to you in the audience. So. We read them for you.
Thank you.
You're
They're
welcome.
very fast paced, and I'm a visual learner, not an auditory.
So am
learner.
I. Well, why don't we give you a little time to read, and then we can have Holly come up and she can ask some questions, and then you can come back and ask some more questions.
Question:
Okay?
Traffic enforcement. Do we have a police department that enforces traffic?
Yes.
4,700 stops in a year. Why are we putting forth the desire to further substantially grow the department beyond what it's already grown from 2-point-something million to $3.2 million budget? We hear constantly, we're fully staffed, until anybody asks for anything specific. Oh, we're fully staffed, but not for that.
Well, actually, we have
We can't
two
actually
openings
enforce
at
traffic
the
on Main
moment.
Street.
So
What's that?
there's 2 openings at the moment.
Okay. Last I heard, we were fully staffed. I don't know.
Yeah, well-
Maybe people quit.
Things change.
That's fine.
Yeah.
There's 2 openings. This would be
Are those two
to add a
openings,
third opening.
are those two openings individuals that are on orders?
Nope.
No? So they're 2 new positions that have
To do with
opened up?
them? No, it's part of the head count. There's
So
2.
people quit.
Yes.
There was an offer put out for someone and they didn't take it, or they moved on to something else. So there was an open position. We made an offer. They didn't take it. So we have 2 open positions. What's your question?
Why do we feel we need to raise even more money for even more positions to simply pay attention to traffic enforcement
We
as
are,
opposed to
we are
managing
responding.
it the way we already are? The police force is already pulling people over and enforcing traffic. If they're, I find it, when the police chief is asked, it's, well, we don't have, you want dedicated? It's always more money. It's always give me more money, instead of, hey, I'm going to shuffle things around a bit and we're going to manage things a little bit differently. And here we're going to actually provide some coverage for some areas that people may be concerned about.
So what's your question again?
So why are we putting forth an additional 75,000 was explained as 6 months salary.
So
You're going
this
to hire
came-
somebody,
this-
you're only going to fund it for 6 months?
Because by the time if that is approved, by the time we can put out the job posting and get someone hired, and depending on if they need to go to the academy, it could be probably not till June that we can hire somebody.
Gotcha. So it's 6 months, 75,000 is going to turn into 150 to 200,000 plus benefits in the following year. New cruiser, maybe 3 more dogs to
Not
go with
new
it.
cruiser, not more dogs.
More dogs.
I mean, we could have a,
So the reason why we put this forward as a selectman is because we're responding to the outcry of the speeds in town, okay? So we do have, and I've explained this at this budget meeting, the chief has explained it at multiple meetings, I'm sure you watch intently, that when we have 2 police officers on, they are doing traffic enforcement. However, if things happen, they have to go to Walmart, or they have to respond to an accident, or they have to arrest someone, it pulls both of them most of the time to those events. So then it pulls away from, we just had an incident last night where someone halved a telephone pole. That took multiple resources away. So even at a high time of traffic, when we would probably have someone monitoring or doing traffic, it pulled all our resources away. So
I don't remember if the number was
thought would be to have
4,200 or 4,700.
The thought would be to have our 2 police officers on, and then at various times use this additional police officer just for traffic. So then when an issue happens, that person's not pulled away. And it happens more than you think.
So we're going to add another $200,000 to the department.
Not adding another $200,000.
Eventually you will.
No.
Pay and benefits full-time,
Mr. Anthony has a point. I'm going to let
it'll
him.
be 200,000.
Just a question, clarify. So there are 2 open positions. So currently, how many police officers does Plastow
We
currently
have
have?
18 positions.
Okay.
So I think we gave this to you. We have
No,
18
no,
yeah,
actually, you
Yeah, you
didn't.
did. We have 18 positions, and we have 2 open right now. So
So there are only 16?
We have 16 officers right now.
Okay. Do you know what the standard is? Is it 2.1 per 1,000 or something like that? 2.1 officers per 1,000 population-wise?
The standard is, do you?
Yeah, because
Do you?
I'm thinking 2.1 seems to, per 1,000 seems to be important.
Okay.
And so, I mean, even if there are 2 open positions, I mean, it's, one could argue that we're fully staffed. And, an additional, funding an additional officer for even if it's 6 months by warrant seems, you're now up over 100%. And so I guess,
That's why we're putting it out to the
yeah,
taxpayers to see if they want to fund this.
yeah. So, but I'm just saying the option would be available to, and again, this is a public hearing. We could amend this once we close the public hearing if we wanted to, I would think. Correct?
No, after the public
No?
hearing, you can't amend it until.
No, I mean, just,
it goes to
during the public
deliberative
hearing.
session.
Is what I'm saying. We could amend this,
No, not
during the public hearing. No? All right. So I guess what I'm saying is just that, this is something that I don't understand why we're not immediately contracting with, other, levels of law enforcement, like the sheriff's department, to have somebody come and run speed as needed, but not have something that you're encumbering the town with.
First of all,
The state police were down here today
Department
doing
of Transportation, State
traffic
Police did a
so.
huge traffic enforcement in East Hampstead, Kingston, Plastow, Newton, heavy-duty truck safety inspections.
Okay.
Overweights, they saturated the area today, focused on,
Commercial vehicles.
through trucking, et cetera, et cetera. It's,
Oh, that's
That
excellent.
cost the town?
it doesn't, when you work with different agencies and you plan ahead, that does not cost the town anything.
So if we planned ahead and we engaged
Do
the
you
state
realize how
police
big
to
the state
cover-
is and how long it takes to make that happen?
That's
the-
fine.
They're not going to come down and do traffic enforcement unless, and it's
And
not
as
going to
far
be,
as-
and it's not going to be an everyday.
So according to the stats that I saw, there's like between 42 and 4,700 pullovers in a year. So that's like 11 to 13 a day. So the town's not that big. That's pretty decent.
So what's your question?
Instead of the board continuing to just throw money at things, why don't you compel your police chief to come up with some ideas, challenge them to come up with some ideas on how we can better enforce the traffic laws, given
All right, do
our already
you have any
3.2
questions
Have any more
around
questions?
Yeah, that was a question.
what,
Can you compel
for the
police
budget
chief?
committee?
No, for the budget
This
committee.
is budget related. You're here.
Mr. LeBlanc, I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to ask some questions, and we're going to let Holly, Ms. Patterson, come up and ask her questions.
It's about time.
Brian, if you want to take a break, I'm good. You can chime in after.
My next one is, sure, you can do that.
All right,
That's fine.
take a break.
I mean, they're not listening to me anyways. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm listening.
We're all listening.
I'll give you something.
We're all listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Play off.
Good evening.
Good evening. Holly Patterson, 24 Brady Circle, Plastow. First of all, I'd like to say that I was compelled to come down to this meeting this evening because I witnessed, as I was watching on Facebook, the disdain that you provided to a taxpayer about their questioning of this budget. And Jay, you can shake your head and laugh all you want. I am not aligned with any one person one way or another, but it seems this board and the Board of Selectmen does not want to hear from taxpayers. So guess what? I got in my car and I drove down here because you may not like how Ryan presents certain questions, brings up certain items, but as a taxpayer, his tax dollars are paying for this community, as are mine. So let's set that aside. That's what compelled me to get in my car mid-meeting tonight.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, and thank you for the forum. I am concerned about the fact that there's disparity in right-to-know requests.
Do you have any questions
The
about?
question I have is I want to know exactly what the town manager makes, because one right-to-know request said he makes $175,000 a year, but I have another right-to-know request where he's on par of making $207,000 in 2024 for all of his accoutrements throughout the town. And yet another person who asked the same information got a completely different answer. I'd like to know what exactly is budgeted for the town manager, and I want to know exactly what it's laid out for.
We don't have a specific line item of personnel that states the person's name, the position, and where various dollars comes from. What we do have is every budget that's before us has a personnel line, and it's broken down into what those dollars are. So we do not have exactly
But
specific.
you do, Katie.
Do you want the answer or no?
No, I'm going to challenge you on your answer because
Okay.
my right to know
We're
has.
not here about your right to know, though.
My right to know, you should be.
No, this is about the operating.
This is
budget.
about going forward for what's budgeted.
This is the operating budget.
The operating
Do
budget.
you have a question about the operating
The
budget?
question is
Okay,
that he's on board
okay.
for 3 different buckets for
Okay.
2024. I want to know what those buckets are for 2026 forward.
It's the town.
Tell me.
It's the town manager's position. It's the water and it's finance.
Give me the numbers.
It's
100, what did you say it was earlier? $187,000.
Why was Ryan told that it was 170 some
Or
odd
it's
thousand?
170, whatever Ryan was told.
No, but it's
It was
not
right to know.
because, so then why?
you were given an answer. What's your next question?
My next question is, why is there a discrepancy with what I was given at the tune of $207,000 for his 2024?
We're not talking about 2024. We are talking about the 2026.
But
Ma'am,
the 20,
May I address?
yes,
please, let's go.
Mr. LeBrecq asked for the contracted salary for 2025, which I provided him. You asked for a payroll report detailing, I believe, the 2023 and 2024 actual amounts.
24 only, but okay.
Excuse me, I, had a busy day.
I'll have.
Yes, we have. There are, in the personnel plan, there are buyouts that are offered to employees of unused vacation, sick leave, and the like, so that I also am able to do that for unused time. So those additional monies are part of that as well. So that's why it's not a discrepancy, but he asked for the contract amount. My contract is for 2025 in the neighborhood of 179.
So for taxpayers who are listening to this at home, how do they compute, or what percentage or dollar amount is associated to that? Because you're saying 174, and yet the 2020,
79.
100, let's call it 180, just for simple math.
Sure.
So 180 to 207, are you saying that $27,000 difference was strictly your PTO and buyouts that you didn't take advantage of?
But could have been a merit.
$27,000.
314 hours.
That much.
I'm just trying to understand, because your average taxpayer in the real world, I get to carry over a week. Anything, if I didn't take my 5 weeks vacation, oh well, too bad, so sad. You get to carry a week. And yet we as taxpayers paid you out $27,000 worth of unused time? How is that? Where is that? In your contract or anything else? Or the budget? We're keeping it on the budget. How do we preclude you from taking another $27,000 out of the 26 budget?
So this
For
is all,
unused
this is
PTO.
all to his contract and what is negotiated. But
Again-
nope, it's been asked and answered. Moving on from the town manager, what other questions do you have?
I want to understand why the town of Plastow and this budget committee has not brought forward department heads to substantiate their budget before this committee. I've come to two or three, it's a loss. I gave up because you clearly don't seem to want to care.
Okay.
But in not one instance did I see a department, and Jay, you think that's funny and good for
What's
you?
your question?
Katie, you can relax because you are way over the top.
Oh, okay.
I watched as a taxpayer
Okay.
where nobody came to justify their budget to this committee, and you all rubber stamped it and said, okay, do you realize that people are being laid off?
So do you want to answer?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so the budget committee had a joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen that had.
With each department?
Do you want to answer?
I want an answer
Then let
about
me
each
finish.
department.
Then let me finish.
Katie,
Let me finish.
take your tone down.
You're the one yelling, ma'am.
Oh, no. Well, you're the one with attitude. So
Okay.
let's go.
Okay, let her answer the question,
Let me
please.
answer the question.
Yeah.
You asked the
Go.
question, let her
Bring it.
answer.
So we
it.
had a meeting with the Board of Selectmen where multiple town department heads were here. Questions were asked. And then of this committee, only one was brought back because it was the will of the committee, and it was the fire chief. No one else was brought forth.
But I sat in these meetings when there were salient questions that were being asked about intricacies of the budget, and there was nobody here to represent that department, that committee. Like, you passed it off. How is that possible?
We didn't pass it off. I'm sorry you feel that way, but we had, the fire chief came back. There was at the
fire
joint-
chief, your husband?
He is my husband, yes, but
Okay.
it's irrelevant.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, ma'am.
No.
Yes, it is.
Sorry. Nice try.
All right,
Go.
keep-
We're not doing
Let her
this.
speak.
We're not doing this.
Oh, I'm doing it.
No, ma'am, no, you're not. So we had multiple times with the Board of Selectmen where we had people here, the department heads, and we were able to ask questions. Then we had our budgets given to us. We had our budgets then. We had the fire chief that came back. That was the only one of the department heads that this committee felt like that they needed to come back.
I'm sorry, but there were
Hold on,
people who
Margot.
asked questions.
Well, it was, yes, just
They
because.
didn't get answers, and they
because-
asked to have the information presented by the department heads. And I sat in these meetings, and you all were like, "Oh, we'll put it out there for an answer. We'll put it out for the answer." When did they come before this committee to justify their budget? You look at area communities. Atkinson is slicing and dicing every budget.
We're not Atkinson.
You know what? Maybe you should be.
Nope, I chose to live in Plastown. You can go back to Atkinson.
Maybe I will.
Okay.
But at the end of the
What
day,
but ma'am, what other questions do you have? It was asked and answered about people
I want to
coming
know
forward.
why.
Come back a second time.
Yes, our road department did, yeah.
Road department, maybe,
Yeah.
but there were questions that were asked about the fire department and the police department and a couple of others while I was here at a meeting, and nobody came back because I've been watching to see would
Other
they
than
come
those
back.
two, nobody else was asked. What is your next question?
My next question is, at the risk of violating HIPAA and everything else, what is the fire department doing to collect their outstanding receivables? Because as a taxpayer and as a person who used the services for my father and had 3 different billings by the department that went egregiously awry,
Okay.
it seems like we're just willing to write shit off.
We've not written, nothing, the
Oh,
fire chief
no,
was
they-
here and nothing has been written off. Those reports are online.
Well,
So you
What's
can go
the
and-
process for
That
that?
would be something you can email or call the fire chief about.
I've already asked the fire chief. I've already
So-
asked the Board of
so it
Selectmen.
goes to billing,
Yep.
and it stays in billing for a period of
2 or
time,
3 times they try to collect.
and then it goes out to a collection agency.
And Jay, so to that point, I've spent a world in collections and finance. At the end of the day, I gave them the information to say, bill him here. There were 3 ambulance runs in 2 days to my home. I gave them the information and they didn't do it. And then they sent collection bills. I want to know as a taxpayer, forget the fact that this was my dad. As a taxpayer, I want to know that we are doing every bit
So-
of due diligence to collect every cent we're entitled to for the ambulance service. Is it a godsend? Yes. Am I grateful? Yes. Are they letting us down as taxpayers and collecting our monies? Yes.
All right.
Okay. What's your next question?
Hang on, I'll get it for you.
Okay.
You talked a little bit about the taxpayers and deliberative and asking the taxpayers questions at deliberative with the budget constraints that they have. I want to understand why, when in 2025 at this deliberative session, this town was voted, the deliberative body voted against a reassessment, and yet somehow the Board of Selectmen found $130 some odd thousand from God, Deus ex machina. It came down from the sky. They found $130,000 to reassess this community a year ahead of schedule and stick it to every residential taxpayer in this town, when your deliberative session body said, no, we're not putting it on the vote for $130,000. I want to know how that was possible.
That was back in 2025.
It was to increase the budget by, what, $100,000?
$130,000 is what was the
130.
deliberative was asked.
Deliberative, so.
Yep.
And it failed.
And we said no.
Increase it.
And yet, lo and behold, every residential taxpayer got screwed by 30% this year because you found it, the Board of Selectmen found $130,000 out of the sky where money doesn't appear to reassess. How did that happen? If the Budget Committee and Deliberative did not approve it, how did it happen?
Contingency fund.
How did it happen?
Do you have any questions about this?
That is a question about the budget, because we're sitting here talking about budget.
Asking about the 2025 budget.
Yeah,
But
this
I'm
is
asking
2026.
about how we as taxpayers can have faith in the budget that we are putting forward today, the questions that are being asked of us today, and yet we're going to get backdoored because you didn't get the answer you want. So I want to know how that was possible when it didn't pass budget, it didn't pass deliberative, and yet lo and behold, this town spent $130,000 to screw your residential homeowners. How did that happen?
So it's a bottom line budget. The increase that was suggested and voted down at deliberative wasn't tied to anything specific. It was to increase the bottom line number.
Yes.
So what is the surplus today in today's budget?
We're closing the books.
So we don't.
How much money is in surplus today, roughly? I would imagine that as a CPA, the town manager should know.
The end of 2025?
Yeah.
Or the unassigned fund balance?
I want to know how much money by the, you can split hairs.
I'm just asking, like, because at
this
the
is
end of
what-
the 2025 budget, if it's $10 million and we only spent $959,500,000, and there's $500,000 left over. So we are closing the books still.
So we
We'll
don't know
keep
yet.
it
Don't
simple.
have the number.
What do you anticipate any surplus or contingency funds are as of right now for the budget?
I would say less than $300,000, less than that.
I'm
Probably
sorry,
less
but I
than
sat
that.
in a meeting when it should be 8%, it should be 10%, it should be 15%. What is the number that is targeted
So
for surplus?
that percentage you're talking about is what we keep in the unassigned fund balance.
And how much is that as of right
I
now?
think that's 1.6, 1.7.
No, he's got the numbers. What are they?
Off the top of my head, I believe it's around, after the tax rate was set, we're around $1.8 million of unassigned fund balance, which is not the unexpended surplus of the budget that you're referring to.
So what is that as a percentage of our aggregate budget? If we've got $1.8 million sitting aside, what is that as the aggregate percentage of our total budget for a year?
Your aggregate budget, so the total budget of school, county, and the like,
Not
which is
school,
$28
not
million.
school, not school. School is irrelevant.
Okay.
I'm talking about the operational efficiency of this town. What is the operational budget of this town? Leave school out.
So last year it was what, $13 million?
All right, so if we have
we're
1.8,
waiting.
1.8 against 13 million
It's the
is more than
unassigned fund
10%.
balance. This is unassigned revenue, unassigned money that gets put into this pot. We can't do anything with it. We can't touch it.
But you did do something with it because you spent $130,000 to go and have a reassessment that your town said no.
It came from the budget and the contingency fund.
Yeah, the
That's where the money
contingency fund,
came
that's the
from.
unassigned balance.
It's a warrant article that people approve.
No, they
So-
didn't. They didn't approve.
Well,
That's my point.
They approved the unassigned, the contingency fund, they approved.
They approved the
absolutely
contingency.
did.
So it was approved last year, so we used those funds along with some money in the operating budget to do that.
Thank you for that because
You're
that will
welcome.
help me at deliberative to work on that.
Okay. What other questions do you have then?
Hang on a second.
Yeah, it's fine. What other questions do you have?
You talked with Ryan about traffic enforcement and police requirements and
Yep,
additional
there's a-
officers.
Yeah, there's a warrant article for one additional one just for traffic enforcement.
I don't care if there's a warrant article.
Okay, so what's the question?
What I want to know is, so I live off of North Avenue.
Okay,
I live in a community that gets on a road that is probably one of the worst in Plastow.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's
For
bad.
traffic issues.
Yep.
And this town is well aware that it is a hazard that they've done nothing with. And God help the town when somebody gets in an accident, because I hope they sue the hell out of the
Isn't
town.
that a state road?
Well,
But I'm going to, there's a question.
But so what is the
we
question related to
have
the budget?
had
Question is, I want to know
monitoring.
why we are not being more efficient with our budgeted police head count. If we live in,
That's not a budget committee question. That would be
It is
an operating for the police department.
but there is
what
a-
other question do you have relating to the operating budget?
question I have, Katie, relating to the budget is that you have an opening for an additional officer
We have-
on the budget.
We have Yes.
Or the police has put together this. And at the end of the day, I go to Sweet Hill Farm and there's a cruiser sitting there for an hour
Okay.
doing nothing.
Okay.
When that is hardly the high risk area within Plastow.
So what you're saying is you're going to vote no on that warrant article.
So what I'm saying is, I want to know, why would the budget committee vote to support adding an additional officer when there's questionable allocation of the resources that we already have?
I think that question has been heavily answered and vetted.
By whom? I didn't hear it. So please,
you were sitting
bring
in the
it.
audience when it
Bring
was
it.
described. You were sitting in the audience when Mr.
No,
George
I
went
missed
over.
it.
I'm sorry. You can go back and watch it on recording. What's your next question?
When is your term up?
You can look it up online as well. What's your next question?
Hang on. I'm reading. That's all I have at this point.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have anything else, Rob?
So somewhat in summary, if the town votes something down, we'll use the contingency fund to pay for it anyway.
Well, if it's a warrant article that is voted down, we cannot, no means no. If it's a warrant article specific to, so if,
Like the CBAs.
like the CBA or the police officers, if you vote no and the police officer one fails completely, we cannot hire someone for traffic enforcement.
Because
All we
it's
can do
not
is
a
fill the open
capital reserve
positions
fund
within
or-
any of those funds. Any of those warrant articles, if they get voted down, no means no.
So how is that
For the
different with
entire
the
year.
assessment? How's that different than the assessing
Because
article?
at deliberative session, it's a bottom line increase. We're not increasing it specifically at specific items. You're just increasing the bottom line budget.
All right, so it's crafty wording, which is typical of
What question? What other questions do you have?
getting to that.
We're just working within the laws of the state. It's a bottom line budget.
It's creativity, I understand.
We have line item details that we work through. We could, I'm just going to say it, but it's not that we do this, but we could spend it any way we wanted to. It's a bottom line budget, but we have line items that we work towards, and we're not doing anything that is nefarious or trying to pull the weeds over your eyes.
So one could, in future years, develop a citizens petition to have line item budgeting as opposed to a bottom line budget.
We're not going to answer hypotheticals, but what is your question regarding
I
these
understand, Ms. Evader of the board.
budgets? Do you want, all right, we're good. Go ahead.
Route 125 islands and other common areas. So this year's budget includes costs for an additional highway department person, correct? That we haven't had to date, or the
It
last
doesn't
several years.
include, we had an open position that has been filled.
Okay, it's part of the budget.
It's part of the budget,
Correct.
yes.
Correct. How long has this open position been for?
A couple years.
Okay,
But it's
so
full.
2 years we've done without it, so now we have an extra body. But we need another $100,000 to weed whack.
I think if you look, everybody voted no to it.
Yeah.
None of us recommended this.
Okay, why is it even listed then?
That was my question, but we put it on the warrant to let people vote for it.
No, but nobody on the Board of Selectmen or the Budget Committee voted yes or abstained
had a
from
lot
that.
of
Everybody said no.
Outcry.
Then take it off this. This isn't finalized yet. That makes no sense.
No, the town has had tremendous inquiries regarding the maintenance. The fact of the matter is it belongs to the state of New Hampshire, but they can only get here once, possibly twice a year. Townspeople have said it looks bad. So the selectmen have put this out there to give the townspeople the chance to decide. Do you want to pay for it, or do you want to look at the nasty look?
So when it comes to spending the town's money, the Board of Selectmen spend it with impunity. When it comes to, this is the board's warrant articles. If you don't support it, it shouldn't even be on here.
Because people
That makes
in
no
town were
sense.
asking and demanding that it be addressed. So
Makes no sense. They're the town
addressed it.
representatives.
So.
That's not addressing it.
This is
Do you have any-
ridiculous.
Do you have any other
Why
questions?
is it not a citizen? Is it a petition?
What's that?
I'll make
Okay, we're going to keep,
I move that we
It's a
close the
citizen
public hearing
petition.
at this point.
Well, yeah, a
motion. I got a
citizen could
motion.
put a petition forth
I
if
have
they
a
wanted
motion
that,
to
but
close the public hearing. Do I have a second?
I'm not done asking
Seconded by Larry
questions.
Gladhill.
Not done asking
Well,
questions.
motion has been made and seconded. You've had
I'll
over
rescind
2
it.
hours.
I'll
There's no limitation on my time. I can filibuster this all freaking night if I want
I'll
to.
rescind it if you kind of work to wrap it up. I know you have a lot of
I'm
questions.
working to wrap it up.
We've been very accommodating and had
I'm
a
on
very
page 8.
open discussion. So let's keep moving.
All right, motion's been rescinded. Did you rescind your second?
Yes.
All right. Moving.
Ridiculous.
I know it is.
We're in a state of idiocracy in this.
We are.
What's your question?
Let me collect my thoughts here. Pertaining to a warrant article that is developed and put forth by the Board of Selectmen, that is not supported by the Board of Selectmen, that is
You
going
have
to warrant a
Any
vote.
other questions on any of the warrant articles left over?
What is the process by which, so in reviewing this warrant article for $100,000, is this budget committee, like, are these brought to the budget committee?
Yes.
Yes,
They're brought to vote, yes,
Yes.
but can they be changed?
Yeah.
Can they be
have,
modified at the budget
if
committee?
they have feedback, they can
you-
give us
you saying
feedback and
deliberative?
it can be brought back to the selectmen to change it.
but we voted, again, on this specific one,
So
we all
why
voted
would
no.
the budget committee not support, you don't support $100,000 to go for this, why wouldn't you change it to 0 to make it go away? Instead of bothering, wasting time here, wasting time at deliberative, because, yeah, this one's going to be talked about a lot at deliberative, I guarantee you that.
And make
Okay.
a motion to
And
set it
this-
to 0 and we'll put it to bed.
But it should go to bed, it shouldn't even go there.
But
and
the
that's the
voters,
point.
the
We
voters
bring
have final
garbage
say at
forward. Bringing
deliberative.
garbage, literal garbage that no one supports,
Okay, do you
forward to
have
vote.
any
That makes
more-
no sense.
Do you have any more
No
questions?
sense. Municipal Transportation Improvement Fund, where did this garbage originate?
I have no idea.
So this came from the Board of Selectmen.
All right, so someone have an epiphany, witness another town that did it and said, well, maybe we can get away with it too. Like, where'd this come from?
So one of the
And
things,
why?
so if you stop and let me
I am.
speak, one of the
Feel free.
things that we have to plan for is a traffic calming study in this town. So the traffic calming that's going to potentially happen here, we are on the hook to maintain the curbing, the sidewalks, the drainage. So the work that we're working with the state to put in this traffic calming implementation, at some point in time, the town will have to take on the maintenance of that cost. Also, we have sidewalks in disrepair. This is a mechanism for us. The voters can vote it down, but this is a mechanism for us to put funds aside for future use, that when we have to maintain or replace drainage on a 3/4 mile stretch of road, will cost, you tell me, you're in
So it's
construction.
another reason to
You know.
give the money back to the state and say, go do something else with it. Your ideas are crap. None of us
So-
support what they're
No.
proposing.
That's the warrant article we're putting forward, so you don't have to vote for it, but it's explained there and the
We have a
intent why,
paving budget,
and the
correct?
intent why we're doing it, so.
We have a highway department with a budget, correct? For sidewalk maintenance, it's not included in the highway department's budget. We got $200,000 a year for
we don't
pavement.
we.
I know
all
we
do-
like to pave the Savage
all we
way,
do is
to have
plow,
an
so-
entryway, a
Do
red
you
carpet to
actually
the police
want
department.
answers, or do you just want to continue to hear yourself speak?
I want to continue to hear myself speak,
Okay, well,
just like yourself.
you've got a couple more minutes, and then your time is up.
Yeah,
I
That's
have a
fine.
follow-up question to what he raised when he stopped.
One person at a time.
Hi.
You can come sit next to me.
Nope, one person at a
We
time.
have two microphones.
Nope,
I'll
one
move over.
person at a
Okay.
time.
We might have to wrap it up. I think there's an officer here that wants to speak to something.
No, he's just here.
You can speak if you want.
No, it's one person at a time.
Okay, she can come up and I'll come back.
Did you?
No, this
You wanna
is
speak, sir?
ending. All right.
Thank you,
Your
Mr.
comment?
LeBrecq.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Yep. Ms. Patterson, do you have any other follow-up questions?
Actually, it's a very succinct question.
Okay.
Sorry. My succinct question is, how is it that something is landing on deliberative and a potential warrant article without the same criteria that's required of a citizen's petition? I just sat here and listened to Ryan talk about this thing that nobody supports.
Do you have any questions about the budget?
That is a question, that there's something that's going to appear on the budget for monies to be spent
Okay.
that no one is supporting. How is that going to get to deliberative at all if they haven't met the hurdle that I went around for the last 3 days trying to chase down signatures and something else just can magically
It
appear?
doesn't magically appear.
It
Citi-
does
No,
if they don't have the criteria.
ma'am. Citizens petitions have certain legalities that they have to follow. Regular town warrant articles have others. Do you have any other questions?
No, I'm good.
All right,
You're
I am
good.
going to close this hearing at, is it 8:56? Okay. All right. Next is next thing that's. $8:57 as well. Have a good evening.